And we're back with another game of Stack vs. Stack, this time on Yukon once again. Team 1 today we have Chair, Bongi, Iris, and Bell. And Team 2 we have Mikey, Scrubbus, Quiz, and Rom. Yeah, it's been a little bit since I did one of these recordings, so I hope this is going to be a good game. Both teams are very experienced. You got 4 people in voice chat here, and I think 3 on Team 2. But in either case, I think everyone here has played a lot of games with each other, so there should hopefully be a lot of good teamwork going on. Judging by the deploys, let's take a look at ANS here first. We got a pretty wide spread of ships. Not a lot on the right side of the wall, just a few cappers and probably a Captain Isle here. And three arrows going bottom left toward E suggests that this is likely going to be E poke. I can't really tell what the ships are, but I think these are voxels, and then a sprinter going to cap E. So that's very typical for Yukon, being able to poke E within the very opening moves of the game. Let's see at OSP side, you have 2 cappers for B or D. Sorry, down here, this arrow probably is a liner. Yeah, liners typically like to ride the ridge line over. There's a lot of good cover you can peek in and out of, and it's pretty easy to traverse. Alright, let's take a quick look as we burn in. This is Quiz's dual liner fleet, 450s, 120s, or 100 mils, and yeah, pretty standard 450 liner. Even's got the rear thruster block, and then this thinner side that allows overpens from 450 HE. Just taking a quick look here, you got this thing is MLS launchers and tiles launchers. Very interesting. I think this is a Nyx design, maybe Scrubbus' design. All right, so quiz, Mikey running standard 450. Oh wow, lots of Sarissos, lots of Auroras, and lots of E-War. Very typical, decent Cello build. Although there's no reinforced stack in the front, that's probably the only criticism I can ask of it. Maybe these should be boosted reactors, and then turn that into like a raider or something. Alright, Rom playing the LN half cap with monitors. So this LN riding the far flank going for B. 3 monitors and a ball with C90. This is the Spinner Swarm insurance. You don't need that much to deny Spinner Swarm. Just a few bombshells into the formation will generally knock out a lot of the engines. And then Scrubbus playing Dispersed Force D-Liners. Bell, we got Battleship with E-War? No, Scouting. Bongi, another Battleship with missiles. And a Sarissa box? Yeah. Iris running a Beam DD cap fleet, and Chair running, oh, very interesting. Dual CL plus Beam DDs. Alright. The opening play of this game will be on E point. Will Chair be able to deny it? Rom, knowing that this is about to happen, shoves 2 shuttles onto E. If Chair gets lucky, she might be able to deny both, but we'll take a look here. These are not on track. This is only a burn ping, and E point is taken away. What Chair is trying to do here is kill all the cappers before this point gets flipped. But if this point gets flipped, then Rom has done his job, because the only way that means that ANS has to stack a ship onto it to recap it. Just checking really quick. There's a C take. No one's pushing for C. All right. So E is going to be where all the action is. First shuttle, dead or dying. All right. So Rom cleverly puts the DC team repairing non-important modules. That way they don't get killed in these red modules here, because these modules are taking all the damage and won't go gray because Chair is only using RPF. And if the DC team was inside these ships as it was taking RPF fire, it would die. As you can see, this DC team has only got one member left, but that's all it needs to keep the ship alive. Alright, so Rom caps E, and might even be able to take this shuttle away, but I don't think that's going to happen. RPF is going to gut this thing pretty quickly. Meanwhile, Scrubbus is going to move one of the 450 liners into position. Chair very aggressively going for the E cap here. I don't know if this is a correct play because these shuttles are not yet dead. Granted, Cher doesn't know that at the start, but she should see that now, that these shuttles are still very much alive. DC team keeping that one alive, and this one, well, it's going to get withered down. Ah, yeah, see? Prioritizing the thrusters, gets the DC teams out of the center part of the shuttle, keeping the DC team safe from RPF fire. Meanwhile, yeah, Scrubbus denies Cher's shuttle. That's a little unfortunate, but it's, yeah, moving it on is a little ambitious, knowing that, oh, if OSP knows this is happening, as most OSP, experienced OSP teams will expect it now, E-poke is a very common thing to do. You're going to have something ready to deny it, and something ready to fight whatever is coming to poke you. Meanwhile, center of the map, we got a... Oh, this is a very nice catch on the beam DD. If it could get lands on... I don't think so. I think the beam DD is going to... Is this a raider? No, it's just a dragonfly. Alright, look at this. Look at this firing angle. That's one hell of a catch there, but good job from Iris getting that right out of the way just in time. I'm actually not sure what's tracking this. Ah, right here. Quiz's LRT. Look at that. Look at this angle. Very cheeky. So, Quiz knows where all the DD spots are. Right? You got one right here. You can have one at this rock. You can have one tucked away on these plateau rocks here. But pre-shining it here, knowing that the DD's there, almost got them a DD kill. Unfortunately, the DD got away. Or if you're ANS, very lucky that you got away. Alright. Big 450 exchange here in the center of the map. I actually don't think OSP wants to take this fight. You're fighting 2 BBs in open space here. And yeah, they're going to be able to shrug the damage or dodge all of it. Meanwhile, OSP, your liners aren't going to be dodging. You're going to be taking 450 fire. You're on your HP bar is ticking down here. Yeah, there you go. 450 is targeting the liners now. In this case, ONS, actually, I don't know why they're shooting this at Cello. Depends if they know this is a Cello or not, but they should know. They should be calling this out. And both the BBs should be firing on the liners, because you don't want to fire at Cellos. They're going to dodge it. Well, I mean, assuming they had Raiders. They would dodge most of the 450 fire. So your gunfire onto a Cellos at this range is very ineffective. But liners, like I said before, can't dodge. So you want to put your guns onto something that will land and stick. This is a good fight for ANS here. These liners, I mean, there's still a way to go, but they're going to see, oh, wow, very lucky shot there. Comm Jammer gets killed, and, well, I actually don't think ANS has any missiles. But, yeah, they're going to gradually attrition these liners down. The liners should be backing off, and the only ships that should be pressuring this kind of fight will be the Cellos standing in open space, trading gunfire. Just basically acting as a no-go zone and making sure the enemy can't push forward, and that you deny this area, especially against beam DDs. The problem, though, is, you know, in matches against experienced teams, and both teams do not make a mistake in the beginning, you're going to enter this 2-2 cap with even split of 2-2 caps, or in other match, even 1-1 split with 3 neutrals being denied. And basically, it's up to the frontline fleets here to make a play somewhere and sneak a cap in, basically by removing the capping cap guard assets. In the case of OSP needs to make sure that they clear out all these beam DDs, because you know there's going to be beam DDs guarding these points. And essentially force the beam DDs to either rotate out of the point, allowing you to send the shuttle in, or just straight up killing it. You're never going to be removing these battleships in any meaningful amount of time, with gunfire at least. So these are more like just to pressure the main battle group and tie up the ANS assets. So lighter assets like, well, I say light assets, but this is a whole damn liner. So flank assets like this liner and this liner down low, and even Scrubbus' liner here on E can move to take one of the naturals. Opposingly, you have ANS that needs to do the same. You have liners guarding every single point. The liners are filled with 450s. They're filled with 100 mil. They'll be able to deny any sprinter that you shove onto the point. And if you're not careful, you'll be able to deny even the DDs that get shoved onto a point, or like DDs that push up. Kind of like what Cher's doing here. What she's doing is she's using her CLs basically as a flank, And are they jamming? No, they're just not detected. And having this DD ready to jump this liner. So Cher can make a play on Scrubbus here. If she engages this liner with her CLs, and then when this liner is busy engaging that, pop out with this DD, and this will put the finishing blow into the liner. And you can see that ANS here is setting up for a E-take. Cher in position on low at the wide flank, 1 DD on the close flank, ready to gank this liner. And then Iris bringing in a reserve sprinter to force this engagement to happen. Because you need something that basically springs the trap, and then you go in and close it on their trap. And you can kind of see the same thing happening here on B, right? Rom here going wide was his liner, flushing out the DD on that was on this spot. They knew it because they know that it was here because it beamed one of their pikes. And then Scrubbus also on a flank guarding this low point here. So you have two angles pushing for B, and if they confirm that this DD has pushed around this point, if this liner like pushes wide around this, and this DD has to go back into cover, you can sneak a shuttle onto B and cap it in time. That's the one problem here is that there is no shuttle in place. Ooh, Mikey gets caught out by the beam here. Good play by Cher, bringing one of the center point DDs down to intercept. And you know this rock formation is always very deadly because of all the sight lines. E is now being taken. Scrubbus might be out of position or a little slow on the deny here. And I think E might be flipped. Alright, so Scrubbus, all guns are tasked onto the spinner. He's got a hold fire command so that all guns will shoot at the same time and on target. He's got grape loaded first. Probably should switch that to HE here. Hopefully for the next second salvo. Alright, this is a very crucial play. If ANS is successful. Oh. I don't know about that, Scrubbus. I think you need to dump all guns on the E point. This is going to get capped. I mean, he doesn't know that it's bow tanking him, but the bow tank would have absolutely destroyed this spinner. Hello, 450 landing on voxels. That's not good for the voxels. Lots of damage. Guns are going to go down shortly here. Thruster 17 already dead. But, you know, that's a pretty good trade. I'll take a single salvo for taking a cap. And here comes the beam DD from Cher, just like before. Oh, perfect. Excellent ambush from ANS here. Alright, this is a textbook play. You have a spinner that springs a trap, voxels to lock it down, and the beam DD comes in to finish it. Excellent. Well done by ANS. I think this liner will die. We could watch it die. I don't think there's any other fights happening right now. Alright. Scrubbus' only hope is getting really lucky with the guns, killing this beam, but this is so much damage. It's a range. 4 kilometers? Yeah. Alright, one of the drives is out. Oh, beam goes gray. Cher should be backing this up. Cher should be backing this up. Should be backing this up to repair, but nope, we're burning forward. But it's okay, at least she has CLs here. The CLs are going to do quite a bit of damage, at least continuous DPS to keep the stake down. Ah, yep, there we go. Both drives are knocked out. This liner is now sitting duck just to both of these CLs. Although I think, yeah, I don't think Cher needed to lose a DD for that, but these are pretty cheap. Alright. Meanwhile, you can see exactly what's happening on the other side of the map. A very similar setup here, except, you know, for OSP. You have a shuttle coming to B to spring the trap. You never want to throw your capital assets onto the point. Oh, is this some missile? S3H? I don't see that hit. It's going to be EO. Wake. It's going to land. Not much damage. Oof. Not a lot of damage at all. I think Ram is just going to go for it. Go for B. I wonder if they know where the DD is. Scrubbus should know. Damage this. Oh yeah, those are beam marks. Yeah, they know where the DD is. You could tell that with the way that these are all angled, they expect DD from this direction. So Rom is expecting it. Scrubbus knows that it's going to be around here. Is Iris moving this in position, though? No, it's not. Kill this. But the missile landed on that. Alright. So, good takes from either side. Those are very good plays. That's how you capture a point without, just eating whole fleets onto it. Except ANS did it a little first, so they are in the lead here. Yeah, and also Rom takes a little fire from this. Bongi rotating out of the center stack, center LOS to engage these liners, and this is probably a really good, good play. Scrub is getting beamed for just a moment, but is that enough? I think this DD goes down. The guns are already lined up, and the liner's gonna win while the DD does way more damage, the liner is way more tanky. Oh, and this is getting crossfired by the rest of their front line, so I think this DD is done for. Although, structure breaking the liner is pretty good trade. Meanwhile, the center fight naturally is pretty uneventful, although, Anus, I don't know why Quiz is still in this fight versus battleships. This is not a worthy trade. You're taking way too much damage for this, I think. Oh, already out of restores, down to drive. Yeah, this thing's almost out of the game. And with these liners forced out, there's nothing guarding A. Meanwhile, Quiz does ambush one of Chair's DDs here, and should be able to put it down. 450s and 100 going into the nose. That's gonna... Oh, knocks out the blanket on the first shot. Oh, good shot into the drive. One of the drives goes down, but the beam is taken down in health with each salvo. And the beams, the HP is your ammo, and there it goes. The beam is... this DD is now out of ammo. ANS has definitely got the advantage here. A lot of OSP frontline assets are attritioned. Like Quiz's liner here is pretty much dead. Scrubbus' liner here, structure broken. And Rom is also not looking that great with his liner. And there's a whole pristine BB and almost pristine BB. And the only thing dead on ANS' side are a few cappers and 3 DDs lost, essentially.
The enemy secured Zone Atlas.
That's why a lot of these DDs are... ANS is leading into these DDs a lot, is because these are such good assets at 500 points, like as cheap as possible, with double FPAs, that they could trade up into these 1,000-point assets, and essentially, they're like larger missiles. You trade these things into a liner, you're probably going to lose, but you deal way more damage than what your DD is worth. Or at least, there's a potential for you to deal way more damage than your DD is worth. Alright. Rom throws both his entire monitor ball onto E. I think this is a good idea because the CLs can't really do much against this. It takes CLs forever to remove these. And the only thing Rom needs to worry about are DDs, which they have. They know they killed one, and they know there's another one that was heavily damaged here. So there's not that much threatening this monitor group anymore. Although OSP is going to have a much bigger problem here, which is 2 battleships, and how do you deal with that? Quiz's liner, K killed here, and the Cellos aren't faring too much better. I guess you have one decent Cello. The problem is, right, you don't have a cap lead, at least not yet, and the frontline noose is closing soon, right? You see Bell pushing up very far. Basically, this A point is uncappable for a OSP. You're never removing this without a significant investment of assets. And then Bongi, on this side of the map, is retaking B. So this 3 cap isn't even going to hold. For OSP, at least. Sure, moves over to engage Rom low B. This is a good rotation. Knowing that she can't really do much against these monitors, move over to kill off these very hurt liners. At least they should know that these are very hurt. They put a lot of damage into them. Although Rom does have a... Does Rom know about this DD? He has to. Ooh, that could be a misplay on both the parts. Cher's not angled at these monitors, and Rom is not looking at that DD. Rom probably didn't know that DD is there, but Cher should definitely be looking at these monitors. I mean, losing out on beam time right here. While DD gets jumped by Quiz's liner. Alright, so Cher has found herself caught between 2 liners and 3 monitors. These CLs are probably not going to live. Oh, wait, they're calling it. I guess, yeah, I guess OSP doesn't have enough juice left. I mean, these liners are out of the game. Two SLs left and 1 liner. Yeah. Against 2 battleships. Yeah, a lot of, I think OSP did not need to take this fight at A. You just dip out of cover and only pop out when they send cappers in. Good rotations on ANS's part. 1 battleship moving over for B, and also a bunch of these liners, or DDs basically punching up into these liners, attritioning their flanking assets. Oh yeah, another beam goes out onto around here. But that was a very good game with a lot of rotations. I very much enjoyed it, especially with how thoughtful a lot of the natural takes were from both sides. It's good to see that kind of gameplay instead of just people suiciding ships onto the point. But let's take a look at the after action. What is it? After action, the battle report. Whatever. We'll take a look at the battle report. All right. Frontline fight is generally uneventful, as frontline fights go when you're slugging 450 across 9 kilometers. But decent damage from both the BBs, and no damage received from Bongi. Let's see, Iris's cap fleet, 2 of the beam DDs remain unactivated, and just cappers. Chairs, Voxels doing decent damage, and decent damage on the DDs. CCs, yeah, not going to do much damage versus battleships. Quiz liners also not going to do much damage against battleships. Oh, damage dealt 0. Oh, I guess this was the one capping. Yeah, I think it was just losing out almost 3,000 points of the cap assets to just have a brawl in the center point. I think might have been OSP's downfall. But also, ANS had a very good defense on their natural take, whereas OSP did not deny ANS's natural take on E as efficiently. But good games all around. GG's.